Hello, welcome to another installment of Brews and Views, and we're going to continue on with our toxic traits of those people of those of us, should I say, that have childhood trauma and mental health issues, whether they be up there or down there. We've all got mental health issues, so it's no biggie, really, is it? To admit it, yeah. So, and if you don't have mental health issues, then I would suspect you're lying. Anyway, so we'll continue on with the theme of that. The trait today we're going to be covering is perfectionism versus a need for self acceptance. Sometimes the contradictory trait of the people who is expressing that is someone who is striving perfection, has extremely high standards of themselves. Usually very critical and very house. The standards on themselves are so high that they don't put them people those standards onto other people. um but they do expect a lot of other people too, and they sometimes will try to take over certain things in order to stop themselves from stop something not turning out perfect. But at the same time, they want everybody, they want to be accepted, and they want to be able to love themselves. So I'm going to start off it with a quote, and here it is. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress, for it paralyzes potential in pursuit of unattainable ideals. Embrace imperfection as the gateway to growth and authenticity. I love that, because it, in an ideal world, everything will be perfect, but we're not living in an ideal world where things are perfect. Nothing is ever perfect. I would add a little note onto that. We're all perfect in our way. Under God's grace, we are perfect in His eyes. But somewhere along the line, we didn't think that was good enough. So we've all got that little bit of imperfection that imperfection striving. Think that we are imperfect, but we're actually more than perfect. Or if for those mathematical types out there, we are 100% perfect. You have to see yourself as being 100% perfect. People, and I'm guilty of a lot of these things I'm about to say. Get tattoos done. You do certain things to your body, and you're not happy with certain things because you put you're you're aiming for something that's potentially unattainable. Now, don't get me wrong, coming from a fitness and health and wellness point of view, there should be a standard that is, we were all maintaining it. It should be above 50%. So we need to be able to keep ourselves fit. We need to keep our body fat down. We need to be able to hold conversations. We need to be able to have a group of friends and hold a group of friends. Being able to manage and develop and nourish a relationship, a loving, romantic relationship. We should be able to do those sorts of things. We should be able to work through our problems, but we're not all perfect, so we have to keep working on those things. So to spot that in somebody or yourself, you'll notice that certain people have a obsession to attention and detail, and they're scared of failing. Obviously, failure, I think hopefully more and more people are getting used to the term now. Failure doesn't mean you failed, it just means you're getting closer to success. And by failing, as long as you don't quit and give up, you can then refine what you've done, do it again, and be better, do it better. It's like the first time I'll do a workout, for example, if I've just made it up, because I do that all the time, I'll just make things up and then do it again. But then when I do it the next time round, it flows better. And this goes for anything. If I write something down, if I'm writing stuff down, like when preparing for things like this, the first time I write down, I think, oh, that's all right, and then I look at it again, I thought, wow, how did I make all those mistakes? And then I make it better. So nothing is flawless. So look for that in yourself, and be kinder on yourself, be kinder on other people, and sort of express that. Look for signs of self-criticism and low self-esteem. These people tend to have very high standards for themselves, and when they fail, they are really hard on themselves. And like I said, these people are probably going to be far kinder to other people, but they are going to be they're going to be less tolerant of their own failure. So look out for that. The causes for that, um, striving for perfection and the high standards, despite what them wanting self-acceptance and self-love, could include fear of rejection. They may believe that they're not perfect, and they may be judged and criticised and abandoned by others for not being perfect. Wow, how imagine that. If you think you gotta hold yourself to this false image of perfection so high that it scares the life out of you and stops you from living your life and being authentic with yourself. Another one is trauma-induced low self-esteem. This is a difficult one. Childhood trauma can lead to a deep-seated feelings of unworthiness and drives need for external validation through perfectionism, wanting to gain, usually through our parents, wanting to gain their love by being perfect and living up to certain standards. And there are, even in the best walks of life, sometimes parents will put a lot of pressure on their kids in order to make them, to get them up to, we do it in sometimes in good faith, sometimes we don't. I mean, I work in care, so I see both sides of things, and on reflection I look at both sides of things myself as well, from my own point of view, from my own childhood. So you've got to put just enough pressure, and it's a tricky thing to do, just enough pressure in order to create the perfect balance. If they fail, allow them to fail and praise them for trying. Say them, but again, also praise yourself for trying as well. Another one is lack of role models. So growing up without healthy role models of self-acceptance and self-love can make it challenging to develop these qualities themselves. So if you don't have someone who practices these sorts of things and lives that sort of lifestyle, then how are you going to be able to mimic that until you come across something like what I'm doing now, or you sort of, doing self-development later on down the line as an adult? Those sort of things can be difficult. Encourage so basically, to support these people, I'm going to give you 3 things now that can help you support yourself and other people who you think are following these sorts of patterns. Encourage self-compassion. Help them to practice self-kindness and understanding rather than harsh self-criticism. Encourage them to speak to themselves as they would do to a friend. And I love that one, is you have to then talk to yourself like you would do your friend. And if you think about it, the way that you talk to yourself, sometimes your friends would be disgusted and wouldn't be a friend if you talked to them like that. So find a balance. Another one is obviously therapy and support groups. Get involved in something. They don't always have to be literal therapy session. Sometimes the gym can be a therapy session. You meet someone there, and they don't know you, but you get to know them, and you get to, again, avoid trying to present yourself as being perfect again, but present yourself in a way that you can be yourself, and watch how you're accepted for being yourself. But have that boundary for yourself. If they don't accept you for who you are, then that's not worth pursuing as a friendship anymore. Okay. Promote mindfulness, and again, the people who work on mindfulness are some of the most aware people in the world. They're aware of themselves. They allow themselves to be happier. They also don't necessarily avoid unhappiness and sadness. They are more likely to delve into why they feel unhappy and then try and do something about it. So you can do things like yoga, meditation, journaling, any form of self-care can help you connect with yourself and cultivate self-love. So if you're feeling the weight of perfectionism and high standards, despite wanting to accept yourself and self-love, and any of this resonates with you, then I'd like to offer you a free complimentary 30-minute life coaching session that's help you explore some of these emotions and uncover some of the root causes, and build a pathway to self-acceptance and self-love. And together we can work towards breaking free of those shackles of perfectionism and cultivating a more compassionate relationship with yourself. If that sounds like something you'd like to do, get in contact with myself. Don't let self-doubt, fear hold you back any longer. Embrace the opportunity to invest in your well-being myself and discover the beauty of self-acceptance. It is a beautiful thing. So take this chance to prioritize your healing and growth. So reach out, schedule your free session today, and until next time, you are loved, you are needed, and you're not alone. Take care.